three very elegant Senior Raj Yogi speakers sharing their wisdom. They have already shared a lot in the past episodes which we have had with them. And let me invite all three of them, if they can be spotlighted, please. So thank you, all of you, for joining. And all of you know them quite well, but it's my duty. We always have few new people joining all the time. So let's start with Sister Judy Johnson. She is basically coordinating the activities of the BKs in Halifax and also heads the Atlantic region of Canada, an author of 5 books. And she is practicing Raj Yoga since almost 35 to 40 years now and works as a facilitator and a coaching consultant in experiential learning, leadership development, and organizational effectiveness. So welcome, Sister Judy. Thank you. And we have another senior sister, Sister Luciana, a social scientist by profession, and has dedicated over the last 42 years now her life to the Brahma Kumaris, the higher cause which she works for. And she is the national coordinator of the Brahma Kumaris in Brazil since '79. And thank you again, you also, for joining. And she has coordinated in the past 3 major international projects: the Million Minutes of Peace Appeal, all of us know that, the Global Cooperation for a Better World, and Sharing Our Values for a Better World. So thank you for joining. And we have with us another dear sister, Sister Aruna, joining from the UK. Mind well, they're all from the different parts of the world. Sister Judy joining from the North Canada, Atlantic area, Sister Luciana very much down south, Brazil, and Sister Aruna from UK. So she also pretty much since 37 to 40 years now has been into this. And she, all of you know her very well through her 8 books, all starting with It's Time. It's time for relationships, for change, for self-empowerment. And also what we like about Sister Aruna is a very beautiful way and compilation of, or a mix of blend of East and West, which she beautifully carries out in her talks. And she actually has come into BKs or realized about the higher purpose of her life from the age of 14 years. So thank you so much for joining again. And as always, before we begin our celebrations, no celebration is over without a poem from our side. So I'll just recite that for all 3 of you. All 3 sisters, Judy, Luciana, and Aruna, are indeed very, very light. That's because they receive from Almighty the much indeed might. They're all blessed with the magnificent spiritual divine insight through which they perform elevated actions, which are indeed always right. On this life's journey, we are always with Maya, having a fight, trying to give it a blow or punch in the face, very hard and tight. Despite that, we sometimes fall and then become upright, knowing that the Supreme is not far away from our sight. So today, let all of us give our inner being a chance to ignite so that we keep flying high in the spiritual sky like a kite. Finally, looking beyond the clouds at the Supreme Sun, which is indeed so very bright. And now let's leave all our worries and anxiety and not feel at all any fright. So with this, I welcome all of you. And indeed, it's a pleasure to have all 3 of you with us today. Thank you so much. I would now request Sister Claudia to please go ahead with the welcoming with the flowers. Thanks.
Om Shanti. Welcome from Olinda, Brazil. Today I'm the other part of the world. So I'm connected to Luciana. Luciana is south and the northeast. So, but it's nice to have all of you with us on this 3rd anniversary of this program. So we see all of you talking, and we are so grateful to have all of you with us today. And I'd like to offer you some sunflower, because here is summertime, and sunflower, so the sun is going to give light to all the 3 hemispheres where you are. So, and together that we have a little flower, it's called here Smile of Mary Smile. So I think it is, you bring the smile to our to our life. So, and and the sun also irradiating and making us happy and happy. Welcome to our program today.
Claudia. Yes, and I won't forget Dr. Mehta. He'll be giving us the vote of thanks as well, but if he can be spotlighted and just a brief word, welcoming word from you as well, Dr. Mehta. It's a special occasion today. So we want you to speak a few words before we go ahead.
Om Shanti. Congratulations to Manoj Bhai and his team for bringing this beautiful program in the third anniversary. Congratulations to all the speakers. I think they are all very well known to me personally, as well as to the audience on the Zoom, because they have been participating a number of times on this program. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for being part of this program. Om Shanti.
So thank you so much, Dr. Mehta. And now I'll request Brother Kamlesh to play the video. And just let me give you a background. We have compiled all the workshop talks. I don't think you three have spoken on that. You all have spoken for the workshop, for the values episodes. And these are the workshops which happen 1 week later. So you may be surprised, oh, that you can't be seen, but you all will be seen in some other videos. So just apologies for that. So we have a whole gamut of all the other speakers who have spoken for the workshop, and we have captured the essence of that. It's almost 7.5 to 8 minutes. So I'll request Brother Kamlesh to play that. It is beautiful to see what values we have covered in the past 1 year.
So I would ask myself, how distant am I from the core self? And the more I reduce the distance, the more positive I become.
Something that's really creative will be connected to the original capacities of the human spirit.
Respect maybe increases, and it's more easy to practice if we have the right framework of knowledge and understanding.
You know, when the reality is very ugly, that's the time when you need to embrace it even more. You really need to accept that. And freedom is a very important ingredient. If you have that value in your life, you won't complain about anything.
Cooperation is what makes life worthwhile. Without it, we could be brilliant in some particular area, but if there isn't that sense of contributing something to the wider whole, then no matter how great we might be, there'll still be a feeling of emptiness.
But still, there was a part of me that was extremely thirsty for something. It was thirsty for this kind of experience, this experience of being in solitude, enjoying my own company.
Being, in essence, is the product of a number of different things we have to do in our lives. And I guess for me, one of the first places it begins is the cultivation of ground zero inside.
Even just the thought, the word, and the action that is based on divinity is like the very first light of the dawn.
To know yourself as true imperishable soul, that is one truth. The second is to know Father as He is, that is the second stage of the truth. And to accept the drama as it is, that is also truthfulness.
And this is an important thing, because to have virtues is one thing, but to be able to use virtues to uplift and to impact somebody else's life, that is greatness.
And the basis of abundance I have experienced and I have seen in some other great individuals is true generosity of heart. generosity of spirit.
My one step of courage is missing, and God might be helping, but I won't be able to receive that help. So I'm suggesting that the power to keep myself open-minded, to keep myself behaving from a higher value system, comes from myself.
Clarity means to see the true state of things, yes, but also clearly understand where to go next.
We are spiritual and we are adopting a lifestyle about which we are passionate, and because we are passionate, then we have zeal and enthusiasm about running those corporations or running our lives in a spiritual way, but with zeal and enthusiasm.
To always have the desire to learn. And I saw these words coming up in the workshop on eagerness, that there's always the willingness, the desire, the want, the enthusiasm to learn.
But if you give it away, it makes you happy. You might find it will make you happy even after 10 years. Each time you think of it, there is a good feeling about that act. And all these little things matter. Then they collect inside us.
So when I start to see myself moving towards a negative thought, I need to stop in that moment. And I need to shift. And I need to move myself towards a positive, empowering, powerful thought.
We can find that people who did great things for their countries were committed to a cause. They believed in a cause, and they were prepared to withstand personal hardships in order to achieve perhaps independence or freedom for their nation, because they had a great sense of commitment.
They had a special meaning of the word dedication in the area of literature and musical composition. And there they interpret dedication to give oneself to a purpose.
Honesty or charity or generosity, this is like not only a value, but it's a guiding principle in life. That this is how I want to live it.
To see that loyalty actually is very neutrally looked at is a way how we relate to something.
Where I really recognize that lightness is an inner state of being.
As I said, the sweetness virtue is not like you can't fake it, and it's not just, okay, let me be sweet now. You can't. It has to come through these different ways, expressions, and smile is one of them.
How harmonious am I with myself? And that's what Sister Moira and I will explore today. A couple of different aspects. One is ourselves. One is those who we're living with. Then the world.
Just do what you have to do. And what you have to do is be there on time. And so when you value your own time and you have your self-respect and you do what you need to do, your life becomes an inspiration.
Thank you so much. It has evoked so many memories of the last year where we had so many interactions on the workshops. Thank you so much. And no anniversary or birthday is complete without the cake cutting. So I would now request Sister Judy to take us into that along with Brother Kamlesh. And we'll have a virtual cake cutting in front of you all. Over to you, Sister Judy. and Brother Kamlesh as well.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Manoj Bhai. Welcome, everyone, and congratulations to the faces I see in front of me. Manoj Bhai, Dr. Ashok Mehta, Claudia, of course, Kamlesh is there, Anuben, and look at all the translators. It takes a village to make this program happen year after year, and we're celebrating the 3rd anniversary today, which is very special. I think Kamlesh has made a beautiful cake for us. There he is. Okay. Tell us about the cake, Kamlesh Bhai.
So yeah, this is a coconut cake. Given that we have just come out of summer, so we're going towards fall. So I figured, we might as well carry some of those bright vibes that comes with coconuts. And it's a very fulfilling fruit itself. So I think that's what makes the cake very special for this time and for the anniversary. So it's a coconut cake with coconut icing.
So we may be cutting the cake, will we? Will we all reach out our hand and help you with that, or will we light the candles first?
Yes, yeah, you should help me light the candles first, which I shall do now.
Now, Luciana and Aruna and I have all brought a candle, so we have one right here for you.
Thank you. And the candles are lit now?
So I think all of you get to blow them out, not us. We'll hold them, you blow them. 1, 2, 3, go.
There you go.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you. It's the Zoom way of blowing candles. Okay, I'm sure now you're hungry for cake.
So shall we all reach out our hands put them on top of that knife? Everyone reach out your hand and tell us the Om Shanti.
It's a pity that you have to eat it all by yourself.
Well, I'll be sharing with the family here. So it's here's the cake for you.
Look at that. It's white inside. It's so white. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is going to everybody on Zoom and everybody on YouTube. It's a special piece of cake to celebrate the 3rd anniversary. Beautiful. Thank you, Kamlesh Bhai. Well done. Do you have a cooking show?
Coming soon to a BK screen near you.
Okay, we're looking for cooking videos for the Lighthouse channel, so I think we found a cook. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. And congratulations to everybody on this call and everyone who is unseen behind the scenes. I know there's so many who come together every Saturday for this, isn't it? Manoj, by how many have there been now? Total?
Lost count, but I think all the speakers have been covered from all over the continents. Yeah.
And how many sessions? How many events?
75 are over. 75.
75. Okay, wonderful. That's wonderful. So thank you for inviting the 3 of us to share with you and celebrate with you. Is there anything else, Manoj Bhai, before we carry on, the 3 of us?
Perfectly fine. I was just wanting to give it to you. So there you are. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So as I look around at the faces, I'm thinking Luciana, Aruna, and I are all very connected to Vancouver, to Claudia, interesting in different ways, either having served in Vancouver, being Brazilian and sharing a national, or being in Canada, and Claudia's son lives in this city.
So we are often the hug for Canada. I'm on the East Coast, she's on the West Coast. And so very interesting to see us all together here today. Welcome to the both of you, Aruna and Luciana. I think we should light our candles again. We've been introduced, but we would each like to offer to the Values for Living team, we would each like to offer you one value we have seen you demonstrate over these last 3 years. And I think we'll begin with Luciana. So you can hold your candle up, Luciana, and offer it to the whole Values for Living team and share the value you have seen them embody over this past 3 years.
Shanti, it's so wonderful to be with my two lovely sisters, Judy and Aruna, and all my brothers and sisters from the Values team. And I want to offer to you the value of consistency. And I believe this is a very, very important value. Even God says very often, he says, sada, sada. So it means that to do something just sometime is not sufficient, but to do something always, consistently, that brings meaning, that brings depth, that brings trust from the people who are watching and being present in this series every weekend. So consistency is my gift to all of you.
Thank you, Luciana. How about for you, Arunaben? What's the value you have seen them embody?
So I'm Shanti, and thank you for having me. And yeah, looking forward to sharing with my sisters. I think it's a bit obvious, but dedication. And it's not just about putting the programs together and arranging the speakers, but I feel it's this dedication to really want to serve and feature and showcase these values to the public. And that's a great theme. It's a great idea. And I'm sure, you know, something touches somebody along the way. So yeah, keep it up, and many more years of service yet to come.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Arunaben. And my little candle was going out. So, and I will offer, this is really what I've seen in you, and it came from this morning's class, actually, the value of being fast. And fast for me, when I was thinking about it today, I was thinking fast, you know, when something holds fast, it's not so much about speed, but the quality of being able to hold something. So fast in the sense that you hold fast to this truth and to, in a way, it's a loyalty to make values live in the world right now. So congratulations for being fast servers, holding fast. So we didn't have a cake, but we could bring candles to your celebration to add to the fun. So the three of us have not spoken about this theme. We spoke about the questions we thought were interesting to share about. And I think because we're sort of pulling back, we're pulling perspective back and looking at the 3 years rather than a specific value to begin, we thought we'd begin with, well, what are values anyways? And what is the value of having values be in the atmosphere and in our attention and in our awareness at this time, which is really the service you've all been doing here. So over to you, Luciana, to just share with us your sense of what are values anyways, a little working definition. Why are they so important in the world today? The value of values.
I think that in Raj Yoga, we speak a lot about virtues. And I believe virtues are more like the decoration of the soul, the way that we express our personality. But values, it seems that it's something underneath our personality. It's something that has to do with fulfilling the purpose of our life. Value in the world nowadays is so important because we feel that the way people live nowadays is so shallow, so without purpose, so without meaning. I'm saying in terms of majority, of course, not everyone is like that, but majority is not really living a life that has significance, meaning. And when you talk about values, you start to talk about the purpose of humanity. When we are seeing war, when we are seeing famine, when we are seeing violence, all these kind of things. So to talk of value is to bring back the consciousness, why we are here, what makes us different from animals and plants, what is the purpose of humans being on this planet. So this is the real basis for our existence here.
Thank you, Luciana. That's lovely. Aruna, over to you. When you think about values, what are they, and what's the value of them right now in our world?
So, yeah, definitely a need to focus on values. I feel values provide a moral compass for humanity. Of course, there's different types of values. There's cultural values, there's economic values, well, personal values, like I might believe in honesty, integrity. So values are, I feel, the driving force for why and how we live our lives.
Mm-hmm. Interesting, very similar to Luciana in terms of the depth and the purpose for our living is values, right? It's values that give meaning to life, or values give value to our life. I remember when I first met the Living Values program, and the definition they were using was virtue is the personal qualities in the soul. Like, we have so many virtues, some of them shine, some of them don't, but there are so many of them, just the positive qualities of the soul. And they become a value when I choose to live my life by them. Like you had said about, I may have a personal value. So it becomes a moral code or my own sort of ethical policy when I say, of all the positive qualities in the world, these are the ones that I choose to live by and define my life by, respect, honesty, love. And the thing is, as a Raj Yoga student, we just keep adding to that list. We keep adding all of them. So then in a way, the virtues become the values, or they're interchangeable, because I'm not selecting some over others. And yet we probably have each selected some of the virtues as our most important, to be the ones we live our life by. Do you feel that can be true for either of you? And this is kind of leading to a question around, what is the first value you remember having in this life? And how do you remember having that? So we're sort of exploring are there some that are more important for you than others? But take us back a little bit into your own relationship with values, where it all began for you with values, which one you remember having first. So Luciana, tell us a bit about that for you.
Well, in fact, several qualities are remembered from my childhood. I think that one quality that it's not so common for children, it's that I was very disciplined. Maybe I had this in my personality. Maybe the school that I used to study, it was a non-school and it was very rigid, so that also helped. But I think that this discipline that I was trained and I was enforced in my childhood brought me a lot of maturity. And I feel that this maturity helps me in the spiritual life, because it helps me to decide, to take decisions in my life more in terms of the benefit that I want to have in my life and the benefit that I want to bring to the world, and less in terms of my will. Not so much about, what is my desire or what's my will, but what is the benefit that I'm bringing to myself and to the world. So I think that this maturity is also connected with a virtue that I value very much, and I could develop after being in contact with Raj Yoga, which is generosity. And I think that that's probably the main virtue, the most beautiful one for me, because generosity encompasses everything: your thoughts, your feelings, you're dealing with time, you're dealing with money, with the way that you behave in the world. So it's like a series. My discipline brought to a maturity that brought me to generosity. I will stay there.
Wow, that's beautiful. Discipline to maturity and generosity. It's like each of those was a bud that flowered into each of the others over your life. And they're all still very alive for you, all three. Huh,
yeah,
that's beautiful. Can you go back and tell us, is there a moment that you discovered? Like, so this is reflectively now looking back and saying, discipline was always with me. But do you remember a moment in your childhood where actually you became aware of a value?
Yes, I remember, because I used to live in a city where it's not the city that I was born or was close to me. My father was sent to work in this city in the south of Brazil. And at one point, we have to come back to our city to move away from the place that we were living. And so we had a kind of a party with all my friends and my colleagues, which were like 10 years old or something like this. And at that time, we used to have tape recorders, big one tape recorder. And my father started to record all the messages and experiences of my colleagues in school, 10 years old, that what they were sharing about me. And so my father was asking them, what do you like about Luciana and all of that? And so many of them said that they liked that I was a good student. So many of them. So at that point, I realized that this discipline and kind of, maybe I could say intelligence or whatever, these were qualities that they would appreciate, and they would say, oh, we like to be with her because then we learn, then we can do the tests properly, and and now I think that I was a little bit too serious. But anyway, that's what happened. I cannot regret. And so I became very much aware that I was already like mature, serious, disciplined when I was around 10 years old.
It's amazing how early in life we can recognize that. And it's like a mirror. Life gives us a mirror as to what we are expressing as a value. So your discipline was admired and respected by your peers at school. Wonderful awakening to yourself, really, isn't it? Beautiful. Thank you for that. Arunaben, tell us about you. What do you have a moment in your childhood where it dawned on you, oh, this is a value? Maybe we didn't name it that way, but you became aware of them.
No, there was not a particular moment that I can recall, but definitely coming into Gyan around the early years, when I started to hear the knowledge, it just completely resonated with my value system. So a bit like Luciana, I think I also was too mature for my age. I don't think I was that disciplined, but at least I was over mature. I was like always hanging out with older people, having more mature conversations. I was never really hanging out with people of my age. And I guess that's kind of why I came into Gyan, because then, you know, it really appealed to me. And so one is the maturity that comes to mind that brought me, I think, closer to the knowledge, the wisdom. But the other is self-responsibility. I don't know, from a young age, I just felt that I had to take care of myself, even though I had good parents, a good family, a good kind of backdrop to my life. I had good friends. But somehow inside, I just felt, no, I have to take care of me. And I remember, okay, maybe this might answer your question as I'm talking. So, yeah, so I remember setting up like a lemonade stand on my wall of the house, you know, just trying to get a few pennies for myself so that I don't have to ask mom, because, you know, I need to earn my own money. And, you know, little things, I was making things. I remember some craft stuff. Again, it's just on the wall of the, you know, the front thin brick wall. Making it look like a shop, putting a price tag. My friend would stand with me. Yeah, just this strong sense of independence, maturity, self-responsibility. I think those are very early on in my life.
It sounds like entrepreneurialism too, but I don't know what the value is in that. It's like initiative or generative or something, right? You've always been that.
Creativity.
Yeah, creative. That's good too. Yeah. Entrepreneurial. That's great. For me, I had just this morning, I was thinking about when was the first time I became aware of that, I guess, of a value. And it came as a bit of a surprise to me as a young child, 6. These childhood memories are quite powerful, actually. They pack a punch because they stay with you, even though you don't remember them. When you do remember, the feeling is there. I was 6. My mom died when I was 5. My dad was a single parent, so he had to work all the time. So we had caregivers who took care of us. They weren't all very kind, let's say. One day, we had this woman who was taking care of us, and she had a Volkswagen Beetle bug car in the 60s. You know, they were very popular and very kind of trendy. And she loved this car so much. And I, as a little girl, I must have had so much anger in me. I took my bicycle and I rode it around and scraped the entire side of her car with my bicycle. I can't believe I did that. Anyways, my dad came home. She was furious. She told my dad, she yelled at him. And, you know, all I remember is, and my dad came over and I thought, oh, I'm going to be in so much trouble. And instead, my dad dropped down to eye level with me, looked me in the eyes, and gave me a big hug. And I don't know if I was just so scared I'd be punished that it broke, like something in me just gushed. I think I just cried my eyes out. But in that moment, I thought at first it was justice that I had, but I think it was mercy. I think it was a very powerful personal experience of either compassion or mercy. Like instead of a punishment, I got this love, this compassion. It was a very powerful moment in my life, and I really only remembered it clearly this morning. As an aside, it's funny how karma works. My first car ever I bought when I was 24, it was a red Tercel Toyota. I drove it across Canada for a job. I parked it on the east coast of Canada in a parking lot. I woke up the next morning. Someone had taken a key and etched out every panel of my car. Amazing. I know things come back. Anyways, so that was my value, something around mercy or compassion in the face of bad behavior, in the face of something that was really overtly problematic.
What about understanding? I think he totally
Understanding too. Yeah. Probably part of compassion. Yeah. Very much so. Yeah, but I guess because I was expecting punishment. Mercy was a word that came to mind, you know.
And when this happened to your Toyota car, did you realize that could be the return for karma, or you became upset as well?
No, this morning I realized, Luciana, when I remembered that story. So many years later. Isn't that amazing? I never put two and two together. Never until this morning when I was remembering that story. Fascinating. Yeah. Anyways. So these stories from childhood, these values that we are most aware of, I think, Luciana, you've talked about how those have stayed true for you over your life. Aruna, have yours stayed true for you over your life? And at this point as an adult, by choice, what are the values you live your life by? And how? Like, how do you live that practically? So maybe over to you, Luciana, because you may have added other values to those three of discipline, maturity, generosity. But what ones now as an adult would you say are key for you in the way you live, and how? Tell us practically how you live those.
I think that an important value for me, especially after I came to Raja Yoga, I was quite young. I was 23 at that time, just coming out from the university and service starting here in Brazil. So I just came along, and Brother Ken said to me, if you dedicate yourself, I stay in Brazil. If you don't dedicate yourself, I go back to Australia. So suddenly I had that responsibility on my head, you know. And so these, I think that I might say erupt two values. One, responsibility, which is something already connected with the old value of maturity and discipline. But I think that a new value, which was honesty. I gave a lot of importance to honesty, because as I came very young and very inexperienced, I came from the house of my Lokic family. I used to live with my mother, and from there, direct to live in the BK Center 8 months after I came to know about Raja Yoga. So it was everything very new, and I was just starting about life and emotional process and all these kind of things. I made many mistakes. I failed in many ways. And every time I made a mistake or I failed in some way, I would go and tell Daddy Junkie. And I think that this gave me the sense of a kind of truthfulness, honesty. And I have an episode quite important to do with this, that at one point of my life, early spiritual life, I had made a serious mistake. And I went to Madhuban and I told Daddy Junkie what has happened. And I told her, can you please tell Baba next time he comes? And Baba came in meditation hall, and the seniors were seated along the side of meditation hall on those sofas that they used to sit. So it was my turn to meet Baba. So through the medium, Baba was coming, and I was in front of Baba receiving my personal blessing. So I called Daddy Junkie to come and tell Baba. And Baba went back to Daddy Junkie and said, don't need to come. Baba already knows, and you have a very bright future. this thing is nothing. So that was an amazing experience that I had of being forgiven and, and also certifying that honesty would be like a good thing to have in life. To be honest was worthwhile in life. I think that this was a very important experience in my life.
That's beautiful. And the honesty has been a protection for you. But that scenario is an evidence of that, isn't it? That the honesty itself was a protection. Beautiful. Runa, Ben, how about for you? What values currently in your life, like, have you chosen to live your attitude? So, that's a hallmark. Luciana, you may have some more to add. I'm sorry if I cut you off too soon. Did you want
No, it's
add
fine.
any others? Okay. Yeah,
No.
but honesty is definitely a hallmark for you, and anyone who knows you would know that and admire that about you. But it's also chosen, that is something that you're very, that you've chosen. Aruna, for you, as an adult now, so there's the childhood ones, but thinking now as an adult, are there specific values that you choose to live by? And if so, how? What's the practical expression of those?
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't talk earlier because we would have found this out earlier. I think for me also honesty, in the same sense as just being honest with all my Mayas. I would tell Sister Jayanti or tell Dadi Janki. I had no qualms, I don't know, about saying what I was going through. I was not afraid at all. I think they made the relationship quite easy for me to communicate, and they would guide me, advise me, and tell me. I didn't always like the advice, but somewhere at the back of my mind, I knew that it was good for me. So yeah, I feel today honesty is the best policy. If you've done something wrong, say it, apologize, whatever, do what you need to do. The other strong quality that I think I abide by is the sense of loyalty. And I think perhaps that's kept me on this path because, okay, loyalty with human beings is one thing, but I have a loyalty to God, and I've offered myself to him. And somehow I've got to see through that. I've got to see through the deed, so to speak. And and I think I would not compromise that, or even with certain friends on a spiritual path, like everybody's your friend and nobody's your friend, but still people who, if they do confide in you, I feel I would uphold that, because it just, I don't know, I just feel if I let them down, I'm letting myself down. It's again, I think this is a clear case of it's a value and not a virtue, because it's how you kind of choose to live your life by. It's not just a little thing on the side. So yeah, definitely honesty and loyalty.
May I say something so that it becomes like a conversation? I have noticed something. First is that some of these values are quite similar to all of us. I do have this very strong sense of loyalty as well to God, but also to people. But I have noticed that three of us have the same zodiac sign. Isn't it interesting? All of us are Scorpion. And Scorpion gives a lot of importance to loyalty and to honesty. So when Aruna was saying, and I was just taking that to myself, and very soon it's going to be the birthday of three of us. So it's interesting. It was by chance or not by chance?
Well, we just cut the cake then.
We what? We just had the cake, didn't we?
Yes.
For our birthdays. Lovely. Yeah, and I would have added honesty as mine as well. And I wouldn't have said the word loyalty, I don't think, although that's very true for me, loyal to truth, loyal to, I guess that's the honesty virtue, loyal to truth. But I think I would have added respect. I'm genuinely curious as to why people think the way they think. And for me, that's respect. Is to genuinely want to understand someone else's view. I might not agree with it, but I'm genuinely interested. So I think I would add respect as well as one of the values that I would choose to live with. Yeah.
Yeah. See, you talked about childhood, so this strong sense of responsibility also carries forward, but the problem is that we can take it too far. You know, maybe you're going to take us in that direction, Judy, but the blessing can become a curse, so to speak. And so we really need to learn to harness that. It's a quality, but then it has to work for you and not against you. And so there were periods in my life where this strong sense of I have to be responsible became a burden. And so I kind of had to step away and say, okay, just take a break, take a pause, look at what you love to do rather than what you have to do. And, you know, find your way through the maze. And I think sometimes we might have to do that. So maybe that's the middle period that you didn't get to. We were child and adult, but maybe that middle period of, just us reassessing the values in our life.
Yeah, I think it's really wonderful. For me, the question is, in a way, what values do I need to build into me, you know, to polish up, to bring out more in me as a balance, perhaps, is what you're suggesting, Aruna, you know, and the whole larger question of, can we develop values? So we have these innate values in us, and I'm thinking the answer is yes, or we wouldn't be students of this Raj Yoga as long as we have. We believe somehow these values can be polished up, they can shine brighter. I can use the virtues in me I didn't even know I had, and suddenly I discover. But maybe the conversation about how do we develop those values, because you're right, they can become those ones that we brought with us that are so easy and natural and innate for us and are obvious to everyone right from the beginning. Those are fine, those can define us, but can they go too far as well? And do we need to have some other values step forward as a balance? Anthony Strano used to speak about, you know, the two balancing virtues, you know, that you've got to find the others to match so that one doesn't take over so much. So what do you think about that, Luciana? And so can we develop the values? If so, how? And which ones are you interested in for yourself right now?
Of course, I believe that we can, otherwise there would not be any purpose in making effort. So I have to believe. And also, I think that one way of developing whatever you realize that it's important in your life and maybe it's missing, it's to give attention to that, to go into the depth of that. It can be through study, learning more about the importance of that thing, can be hanging around people who have that quality so that you can learn, that you can grasp that quality from that person. Sometimes creating a situation in your life that would allow you to experience that. I can give you one very small example that happened in my life. Once I was in Mexico, in Cancun, participating in the UN conference of climate change. And I was with the green team. And I was always very accurate and organized. And of course, the team already knew that, because it's how you show with your behavior and some things. So we had to go somewhere. We went for sightseeing in a Maya area or Maya pyramid or something like this. And when we had already gone into the car and moved some kilometers, I realized that I didn't have my passport with me. So I had to tell everyone, I think that we have to come back to pick up my passport. And a little bit like it happened with your father, Sister Sonia from Denmark, who is the leader of the Green Team, she clapped her hand and said, so good that you made a mistake. So good that you forgot something. So it means that you are normal. Because, you know, always right. So the same thing, she embraced my forgetfulness. But yes, I realized that I need more of this lightness in life. This lightness in terms of I'm hard with me, and sometimes this becomes hard with others as well. So I think that this lightness is something that I have been cultivating. And I've been even entertaining some thoughts in my life, in my head, how to create more of this lightness. And I'll let you know soon when this happens. So yes, I think lightness is one quality that I would love to have more.
Are you noticing you have more of it now that you have been paying attention to it? And in what way are you noticing even a small bit? I mean, that was a mistake made. And you know, the humility, the softening of, oh, I'm not always, you know, right in a rigid way. So you received that well, I'm guessing, and everyone laughed and it was great and you went back. But in your own efforts, are you noticing that there's more lightness? And if so, what's been helping?
Yes, I've been noticing some of the signs, not 100%, but I've been more accepting of people, accepting of situations, accepting of mistakes, especially from others. And also, I have been creating this mantra for myself that, you know, everything is perfect, everyone is perfect, everything is like it has to be. I cannot change anything, I cannot change anyone. So this mantra has been being repeated in my head, and not just in terms of a repetition, but trying really to embody, to apply that in myself. So I've been seeing some good responses for situations where I really let it go and not try to control so much. Yeah, not yet. Haven't arrived there so far, but yes, some progress.
Congratulations for the valiant efforts. That's wonderful. And to feel that it's actually, I think these changes begin very subtle at first, you know, and let's say a value has been kind of buried underneath a stronger value for a very long time. It does take a little while for it to kind of come up to the surface and match. So congratulations. That's great. How about you, Aruna?
Yeah, what's the question?
The question was like, I don't know. I think it's about can we develop values? And if so, which one are you trying to develop and how? Like how?
Yeah, okay. Okay, so how I will answer this question is I do love this path of making effort, a path of self-reflection, a path of inner work. And I too also like to know, you know, how things tick and why we think the way we do and what triggers us. And I love doing all this work because that teaches me that there is not only one way, there's more than one way to do things. And so why, okay, I'm starting with this because I want to say that we are on a path to perfection. And it's not an easy path. And so we constantly have to lift the bar for ourselves. We have to lift the standard for ourselves. And that's why I think our goalpost keeps changing. So even though I may be good at a particular value, I know that I have to strive better in that. And whilst doing that, I discover something else, and that's the ascension. So how to develop values? Well, keeping an open mind, being humble, persevering, not giving up. And maybe I can add a story or two to this. And that is that, yeah, I remember, okay, so kind of I started in London, then I went to Vancouver. And then it was like, I felt all the time, it was like, if I look back, it was like Dadi was pushing me. So she then pushed me to Turkey, and I wanted to be in Vancouver. She pushed me to Turkey. Then I wanted to be in Turkey, and she pushed me to Bahrain. I wanted to be in Turkey, and then to Bahrain. And then I wanted to be in Bahrain. Then she pushed me to Kuwait. And, you know, if it wasn't also for Dadi kind of believing in me and trusting me, I don't think also I would rise to the occasion. So I think it's very important to have this kind of role models and people who believe in you to help you see that you can rise, you can have a better value system, a better way of living, working, and in that way you improve yourself. So trust, yeah, this is the quality. Trust is very important. When I trust somebody, it's like, because, you know, I've seen it happen to me. I can see myself trying to do it in the places that I've lived. Like if I trust them, okay, you may doubt at the back of your mind, you're not sure they can do it, but at least just try and trust them. And yeah, then you give them the opportunity to rise. So yeah, in terms of helping others to develop their values, yeah, just support them, just try trusting them.
And developing your own values. So you have someone else who believes so strongly in you, but let's say you're picking a value that you think is really important now in your life. How are you going about doing that for yourself?
Well, I am. I mean, there's many things I'm paying a personal attention to. So basically it is repetition, repetition, repetition. That's the first thing. Yeah. And, you know, we do this morning meditation. So it's like using that personal early morning time to really just remind yourself of, you know, why you are here. What's the bigger picture? Keep that aim in front. And the spotlight is on me. I need to change. I want to change. So I need to embody that value and not to expect others to do it first.
Right.
These are some of the thoughts that I keep in my mind.
Yeah. We are three, we share some common traits, and I can just tell, and it's nice you raised that, Luciana, because I was thinking about how for me, punctuality was always really important. It always has been. I show up on time. I'm usually 5 minutes early. And nobody in my world is on time. I mean, that's maybe a gross exaggeration, but it's pretty accurate. Most of the people I know are 15-minute late people. That's just, and they define themselves that way. So I think what a gift for me that I'm surrounded by people who are not on time when I value being on time so highly. So there have been many years of annoyance and irritation and feeling even my own self-respect, like somehow I'm not being respected. Like it's gone through all manners of things. And, you know, I've always been gracious but grumpy, let's say, about it. And then I think it was about 10 years ago, I remember thinking this is driving me crazy, that I'm getting frustrated when they're late. So, and this is where I will add to the repetition, repetition, repetition. I love your mantra, Luciana. I'm going to use it. It's beautiful. I will add to the repetition. I felt like I was forcing myself to be more gracious without the grumpy. And the one day I had a realization, and I think the realization helped enormously. And the realization is, I don't want to wait. I am never, ever going to wait. ever again. And I completely shifted my consciousness for that 15, 20 minutes when they were not present and I was present. And instead of defining myself as I'm waiting, I shifted that to I'm never going to wait. I'm not waiting. I'm doing other things. I'm doing the things that I want to be doing right now. So the minute my consciousness shifted, I have no trouble with people showing up whenever they do because I'm not waiting. And it was just waiting that made me so grumpy because it felt very passive. It didn't feel like I was a master of my own destiny. And so simply by switching, there was the realization I changed my approach to myself and trying to develop this value of patience or acceptance or tolerance. Instead of trying to force myself to do that, it was just I shifted my consciousness. And I find I'm not grumpy at all now. I don't take any of it personally because I don't want to say I don't care, but kind of I don't care because I'm just doing what I'm doing. And then when people come, they come. And it hasn't cost me anything because I'm not waiting. It hasn't cost me a sense of helplessness or not being in charge of my own life. Does that make sense? This is an interesting way to develop a value. It was somehow I will add to the repetition theme or practice is there is realization in there somewhere, which really helps.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very impatient too, Judy, and maybe you've gone this way, I'm going this way. And my thing is, my mantra is this a battle that I want to fight? You know, this is something that I tell myself that is that really where I want to put my energy? And this is helping me to, again, kind of harness my energies. So like you said, yeah, is this where energy in, yeah, it's not working or it's they're late or this, you know, I'm saying that's not going to help. Let me shift.
Luciana, your thoughts on that?
Yes, I think that both of you shared beautifully because I think that why we are here for so many decades, not just years, we are here since many decades, is that we are open to change. We are open to realize. We are open to experiment some other way of doing things. And we didn't give up. We are still on the way. We are still walking in this path of transformation. So it's beautiful that every moment and every situation we are finding new ways to be able to continue in our transformation in this path. And I think that this comes very much from the realization that we have chosen this path. So the question of giving up doesn't arise for us. So now it's the question of how to improve, how to overcome few things, how to transform ourselves. And I think that this has a lot to do with what I was saying before, and I can see in both of you as well, that maturity. Maturity is about transforming and not giving up, and not desisting, you know, and, you know, now I don't play anymore. Now I don't go anymore. Now I don't do anymore. So these games of childhood are not for us. So I think that it's, everything is like connected.
Yeah, that's lovely. You know, when we itemize, like here, they've had 3 years of values, every week a different value, so many different values. And in a way, to think about all those values being in me and me being able to develop all those values seems a little overwhelming, actually. And yet, to your point, we continue. But also, I think the focus that I might have in my life on a particular, let's say, patience in the case of waiting, I think that one door That, that one value, my focus on that one opens the door to so many others, and that they kind of naturally come along for the ride. So it's not so overwhelming in the end. It is sort of a natural process of, as we develop one that matters to us, particularly because we are who we are, that somehow the companions to those values also come along, and so it's not, I guess I'm trying to say, it's not overwhelming to try and have all of them, because somehow all of them show up. Even if we don't focus on every single one of them in our lives, we might focus on a small group of them. What do you think? Is that possible? I'd like to have all these values in the end, actually.
Yes, you see, you mentioned about the 3 years program of values, and different people take up different values in a different way. Even they have the value being explained in 1 week, and a week later they have the workshop. So, different levels, different experiences, different points of view. So it's a wider perspective, and it's so beautiful that each one with their life experience and their maturity in terms of spiritual life, but also with their way. Like, I like to express the way I think, telling stories and being very practical, telling scenes of my life. I'm not so philosophical, let us say. So it's beautiful that each one brings their own fragrance and the way that they live these values and these virtues. So it's beautiful.
Yeah. Aruna, what do you think of that? We're going to have all the values in the end.
Yes. So, well, I think we should have access to them, but yeah, I feel like we are all different. And we will continue to be different, and we'll have different interests. And not only that, but look at even now, we're in such different situations. And so we have to exercise different powers, different virtues, different values. So the situation will encourage, or the drama of life will force you to emerge a certain power or quality in itself. So yeah, as much as I know this is our aim also, is that we have all of them, but I think we have to try and excel in some, which is what makes our shine different. That's how we all shine differently, is because, you have that quality, you have that, and I have this. And so that's what creates the bouquet. So maybe not to overwhelm myself, but definitely to keep the aim.
And keep going with maturity and honesty and responsibility. I have received a signal that we can bring this to a close, and I'm just wondering if Manojbhai, you would like to summarize what you've heard, or I can ask each of us just to give a final comment. What's your feeling?
You all please summarize. Thanks.
You would like to summarize, or you would like us? We can each offer a line.
So you all please go ahead. No problem. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so why don't we close with just a final statement each in honor, in celebration of the 3rd anniversary of this Values for Living, and as a vote for values, a concluding statement from each of us.
So I can start. Yeah, it's so important to at least somehow at the back of your mind to keep focus on values, because values add fragrance, values add beauty, values add weight to your life, and you become quite a principled person. So value.
That's nice. Thank you, Aruna. Luciana?
Yes, I think I want to affirm that values are the ingredients of our character, and the way that we measure our actions, the way that we relate to others, and also that we relate to the environment. And I just want to add one word, which is priority. I think that if human beings and the humanity in general would give more priority to apply these qualities in their lives, then the world would be really different and would be really a better place. So values should become a priority in our educational system, in our social system, in our political system. I think that that's important.
Yeah, thank you. So true. And I would say that I value myself and I value my values. And I understand that my value increases when I live my values. So my value to the world and my value to God actually increases when I live my values. So that'll be my final statement. And thank you both for being here with me. It was a lot of fun to be with you, actually. It was very easy and lovely, like sitting around together over a cup of tea. So thank you both for being so wise and so precious. And thank you to the team for inviting us. And congratulations on the 3rd anniversary.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much. It was like amazing, the conversation which we had. What is the purpose of our life and what is the purpose of doing these series as well? It gives us a clarion call, a reminder that we could continue for 1 year, but each to his own, pick up on one value or virtue, work on it, make it your specialty, like a university student or a university PhD. And then, as Sister Aruna mentioned, and Sister Lucian also, we should have access to all of them, no doubt, and make it a priority. That's really great what Sister Lucian also mentioned in the beginning. So now I would request our seniors we have, as always, Dr. Ashok Mehta and Sister Claudia, to propose the vote of thanks. And then we'll go into the meditation mode with all of you.
I think this was a very enjoyable session with all the 3 sisters. They brought in focus various aspects. It's like a really bouquet of values they have brought in front of us on this 3rd anniversary. And I should thank them profusely for bringing a sharp focus to their own personal experiences from childhood till the now, and how probably they were brought to a spiritual organization like the BKs. I think probably seed was lying right from the childhood. I think this is true for all of us. I used to like the truth, Satya. And that came from reading my experiments with truth of Mahatma Gandhi. And that became a trigger point to bring you closer and closer to reality in life. And I think we all enjoy living our lives according to what impressions we had in early childhood. And I think it was a very sharp focus. But I think finally the bouquet of values, it's the life that we have lived thanks to the teachings of Raj Yoga, to which all of us almost gravitated to. Thank you very much. I think it's beautiful. I liked the voice, the resonant voice of Sister Luciana. It was literally echoing. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Sister Luciana. And I had the opportunity to meet her in Sao Paulo, maybe 15 years back. I don't recollect, but so beautiful. Thank you.
In fact, I had the pleasure to receive all of you here. Manoj Bhai was here, you have been here, Claudia has been here many times. Aruna was here for Raksha Bandhan in August. Judy was here in the past and is coming back in November. So it's really my pleasure to be close to all of you.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
Thank you very much to all of you. I think that is this 3rd anniversary we could not have reached, we could not have the help of all of you, all the speakers, the ones who are here translating, the team behind the scene, who are taking care of the IT. So I say we have been learning so much over those 3 years. Because like Luciana said, we have 1 week we have the values, the second week we have another speaker bringing that same value, and then at the end we at the center also on a Sunday after that value we review that value that was spoken by the speakers. So that way those values goes inside. And because also sometimes when you feel, oh, I need to increase a little bit this value, we go back and see if that value was already spoken, and then we see what was that I could learn from that. So we learn a lot from all of you. And by knowing all three, I could see when you were speaking, I knew, I recognized all the values that you have. I recognize like Luciana, how she's very much everything straightforward. I see creativity Aruna. I learned so much from Aruna. We used to go to the dollar store. So let's go dollar store. Say, what can we find dollar store? She used to go dollar store and make a little $6 become 100,000. So she has so much creativity. That's I always recognize her. And Judy, you are so beautiful, so nice. We are so close friends. So there is no gap between the East and the West of Canada because we are together. So thank you very much to all of you, and hopefully we're going to go together for the 4th year, right, Manoj Bhai? All of each one of you, those who are doing the translation, those who are recording, those who are doing everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you, and it's blessings, Baba's blessings, and with the cooperation of all of you, the speakers, the IT team, the translators, everyone will definitely go further, maybe beyond 4 years as well, if Sister Claudia permits. Well, let's see. So I'll just quickly do the announcements, and I'll try to be very quick because we have to, it's already about time, but we need to also take a photograph. So please, all of you, be ready with your cameras on for this very special episode, which we are celebrating today. And as always, we are on the 76th episode of the workshop. And so we did the talk last time, and we have the workshop the next weekend. It is with Brother Golo, who will be joining from Gyan Sarovar. I'm sure he'll have a lot of stories to share about the solar plant, which is a big victory, or the victorious jewel, I must say, in the Brahma Kumaris in India particularly. And as we move further, all of you know that we do the episode in the first weekend. The next is the workshop. Followed by that, at the month end, we try to top it up by going into silence. And we do a silence retreat. So we were supposed to do last weekend, but everyone was busy with many other things. So we are doing it in the first weekend, the coming month of November, on the same value. We'll be sending out the invitations soon. And actually, this was the episode or the anniversary which was supposed to happen before this workshop. But as all of you know, our very dear Nirmala Didi, Dr. Nirmala Didi, left the body. So we really were not in a mood to celebrate a birthday at that point of time, very much on that Saturday or Sunday. So we are doing it with, again, all the seniors. You can see Brother Eric, who will be in conversation with our seniors, very many seniors, a very respected Sudesh Didi and also Santosh Didi. And both of them have consented for Sunday, 5th November. Mind well, the clocks will be changing for UK from tomorrow. And for US, it will be from the 5th of November. So that episode will be 8:30. Whilst for the West Coast, the time is 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. for Russia. So we'll be sending you the invitation soon, but hang on, it's for this. The next weekend, we have 3 things coming up: the silence retreat and the episode anniversary, and also the workshop on victory. So with this, I'll just stop sharing the screen. I won't do any other announcements for the lack of time today. And let's, all of you, please, if I can request you all to switch on your video cameras. This is a memorable, and new sister can take that. And let me know when done.
I think if still some people have not switched on their video, kindly do so. Today's special with such special guests. But yeah, I got whoever has switched on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So I think we'll spend the next 4-5 minutes in silence, and we'll keep history from all three of you. Is that okay? Fine. And I'll play some soft music in the background.
Shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. I shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. There are times when I forget that spirit lives inside of me. When I drop into that source of love in my heart, I am free, and I am a light. I shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. I shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. There's a truth that I know deep inside my soul. Every day's an opportunity to shine my light to everyone that I see, and I am a light. I shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. I shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. Shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. Shine so bright, I illuminate the darkness. I am a light. Shine so bright, I'm gonna shine my light. I illuminate the darkness. I
So thank you so much. And I would really want to also acknowledge all our participants who really join us all the time for all the episodes and the workshops as well. It wouldn't be possible without the participation of all of you participants. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for your time. Thank you. Shanti.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. See you again in this journey. Thank you.